So in the middle of this dialogue that Jesus is having, he talks about his identity, right? That he comes from the Father. And as he says in today's gospel, it is written in the prophets, they should all be taught by God, that he's the one that has seen the Father and he has come from the Father. And really, Jesus needs to establish his identity for what he's going to say in tomorrow's gospel, which is going to be a big whopper. Okay? This is really going to upset a lot of people. In fact, as we're going to hear, that as Jesus says what he's going to say tomorrow, people are going to get up and leave and never follow him again. Okay? We'll leave that for tomorrow. I just wanted to kind of give a little reflection on, again, the nature of bread. I'm not much of a baker, but I'm sure some of you love to bake, and you make your different types of breads that are out there. And, the essential ingredients are going to be what? Like flour and water and probably some eggs. If I'm wrong, just correct me after Mass, And then maybe you add some other special flavors in there for your own uniqueness. But as we know, you first make the dough, but the dough is flat. It's just a clump of dough. Remember in the Old Testament, when the people celebrated the Passover, one of the things they had to eat was what? Unleavened bread that didn't rise. And so an essential ingredient for the bread to rise is what? Is yeast, which is actually a living organism. It's life. And you place the yeast in the bread, and then over time, the bread will start to rise. It's kind of funny how a lot of things in nature also point to the supernatural. In fact, I think all things in nature, if we examine it closely, always point to the divine. They're what we call sacraments in the small s of the word. They're sacred signs. They're signs that also point to a deeper, invisible spiritual reality of our lives. We are just clumps of cells until God gives us the bread of life, until our souls are united to our bodies. And now these living cells that we have, they come to life. But also our souls, our spiritual lives need the Spirit of God to rise as well. I mean, literally, to rise from the dead, it needs God's yeast. It needs God's Spirit. And so in the Old Testament, they didn't have that yeast yet, right? They didn't have, in the Passover celebration, they didn't have that living organism to make it rise, because it's in preparation to what Jesus is going to give, the bread of life, the true bread, the true Spirit that he's going to give us. And so this morning, we just, again, I think humbly just remember that all of our life, both our physical but our spiritual lives, is all caused by the Spirit of God, which makes us rise not only in this life, but in the new life to come. May God bless you.